If you blinked at any point during 2025, you probably missed a huge AI announcement from Google. It felt like they were releasing something new, or updating something old, or launching some futuristic model pretty much every single week. So we're going to do something kind of crazy. Recap their entire whirlwind year of AI in one jam-packed breakdown. So strap in. We're about to unpack the AI revolution of 2025.
To really get a handle on the scale of what happened, we have to start right here, with this quote from Google CEO Sundar Pichai. He called AI the most profound shift in our lifetimes. And look, that wasn't just some fancy corporate talk. That statement was basically the mission statement for the entire year. It set the stage for this unbelievable blitz of AI integration across, well, literally everything they do.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down to make sense of the crazy pace. First, we're going to look at the foundational work they did in Q1, where they really laid the groundwork. Then, we'll see how they just exploded that AI ecosystem in the spring and summer. And finally, we'll get to the main event, the launch of the Gemini 3 era in Q4.
Hey everyone! Before we dive back into today's content, I just want to take a quick moment to ask for your support. If you're enjoying the video so far, it would mean a lot to me if you could hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and reach more awesome people like you. Thanks so much for the support, and now let's get back to it.
Let's dive right in with the first quarter. This was all about setting the table, getting the core models and features out into the wild and establishing this relentless pace they'd keep up for the rest of the year.
So 2025 didn't exactly start with a gentle ramp-up. No, for Google, it kicked off with a full-on sprint. Their strategy was crystal clear from day one. Bake AI into the very fabric of the tools that you and I use every single day, and do it fast.
What's really wild here is just the speed and the sheer breadth of it all. In just 2 months, boom, Gemini is powering the Android Assistant and the new Samsung Galaxy S25. Then the faster Gemini 2.0 Flash model hits their app, and right after that, the full Gemini 2.0 was out for everyone. They even made Code Assist free for developers and brought screen search to Lens on iOS. It was this rapid-fire deployment across mobile, apps, and dev tools all at the same time.
And then March rolled around, and with it, a huge moment for Google's crown jewel product. Yeah, I'm talking about search. It was about to change in a really fundamental way with something they called AI mode. And this wasn't just another little feature. It was a whole new philosophy for how we find information.
So here's the crucial part. They were hitting this from 2 angles at once. On the product side, they launched AI mode and expanded those AI overviews in search. But just as importantly, on the tech side, they released 2 major new models, the powerhouse Gemini 2.5 and the much more efficient Gemma 3, all while stuffing more creative features into the Gemini app itself.
And we should probably talk about Gemma 3 for a second, because this was a huge deal. These are really powerful but lightweight models designed to run on a single GPU. So think of it like putting an AI brain right on your laptop or your phone instead of needing to call out to some massive supercomputer in the cloud. This whole move was about democratizing AI, really empowering developers everywhere to build on top of Google's tech.
So, let's move on to the middle of the year and see how all this started to build. After laying that solid foundation, Q2 and Q3 were all about expansion, taking that core AI tech and weaving it into absolutely everything.
This period was less about one single massive announcement and more about showing the incredible scale of their ambition. From creative tools to custom hardware to the apps you use for work, AI just started popping up in new and sometimes unexpected places across the entire Google landscape. April brought Veo 2 for AI video generation and something called Ironwood. Ironwood is their next-gen TPU, or Tensor Processing Unit. That's just Google's custom-built chip that makes all this incredible AI magic possible. Then came the big Google I/O conference in May. They showed off Flow, an AI filmmaking tool using the even newer Veo 3. This was a massive signal that Google wasn't just focused on productivity anymore. They were coming for the creative industries. And to power it all, they announced a new premium Google AI Ultra subscription and even new ways to shop with AI, like virtual try-on.
And the momentum just kept rolling right into summer. June gave us Android 16 and the launch of Search Live, which turned that new AI mode into a real-time conversational tool. In July, we got some fun stuff, like turning your photos into videos right inside Gemini, and some incredibly practical stuff, like a new AI feature in Gmail to finally help us manage all those annoying email subscriptions.
August is always hardware month, right? And 2025 was no different, with the launch of the Pixel 10 and 10 Pro, which were built from the ground up for on-device AI. This is also when Google DeepMind unveiled this wildly powerful and hilariously named image editing model called Nano Banana. By September, the Chrome browser was getting an AI makeover, and Search Live got its official wide launch.
So what exactly is this Nano Banana thing? Well, it's a new image editing model from DeepMind, and it's all about making really complex photo manipulation feel totally intuitive and simple. Think of it as the engine that was about to power a whole new suite of creative tools across Google's products.
Which brings us to the final quarter of the year. So if Q1 was the foundation and the middle of the year was the expansion, Q4 was the grand finale. This is when Google pulled the curtain back on its next-generation intelligence.
Seriously, everything that happened in the first 9 months was just leading up to this. The final quarter was a showcase of Google's most advanced, most futuristic AI, all culminating in the one launch that the entire tech world had been holding its breath for.
October was kind of the warm-up act. Google announced a specialized model for interacting with user interfaces, basically an AI that can use a computer, its apps, and websites just like a person can. It's wild. They also updated their video models, released new Google Home devices built specifically for Gemini, and, just as they promised, they started integrating that Nano Banana image editor into Search, Notebook LM, and Photos.
And then came November. This was it. This was the single biggest announcement of the entire year. Google officially pulled back the curtain on Gemini 3, kicking off the new era of intelligence that they had been building towards all along.
Now, this is really important. The launch of Gemini 3 wasn't just some research paper. It immediately started upgrading the Gemini app with brand new capabilities. A pro version of the Nano Banana editor was introduced, and Google Maps navigation got a massive intelligence boost from this new, much more capable model.
And they did not take their foot off the gas in December. They launched Gemini 3 Flash, the speed-focused sibling to the main model, and immediately started rolling it out across the entire globe in Google Search. Their year-end search report came out and showed just how much AI was already changing how we all search for things. And to top it all off, Gemini 3 brought state-of-the-art translation to Google Translate. What a way to finish the year.
So let's just step back and take a breath for a second. In 12 months, Google went from ambitious promises to full-scale deployment. They launched multiple generations of AI models and executed this crystal-clear strategy. Integrate them into Search, Android, Chrome, Photos, Maps, their hardware, you name it. It was a complete overhaul of the entire company around one single powerful technology. From managing your inbox to navigating your city to creating art, Google's AI is now just woven into the digital fabric of our lives. So, after a year like that, the only question left to ask is, what's next? What part of our world and our daily routines is this technology going to reshape in 2026?